Alright, so when we last left off, I was just about to implement the game over mechanic, and that is going to involve making an animation for when you get a game over, and just scripting the sequence. So the first thing I want to do is actually make the animation. So let me show you how I go about doing that. So I'm missing some tabs. I need animation. Okay, I need the animation window and the animator window, and I just put them down here because, well, it's a timeline, and I think this little window works pretty good for a timeline. I also just generally put the animator down here as well. So the first thing I want to do is start animating Molly here. And so it looks like the animation it has chosen to show us is the idle animation. Alright, that's pretty cool. So let's create a new clip. I guess I'll call it Die. Why not? I can always change it later, I think. Now is the part where I start making the animation. And I already kind of have an idea for what I want it to look like. My idea is that Molly will kind of grasp her chest, start to step back a little bit, and then fall forward dramatically. So let's see if I can't figure out how to do that. So there kind of has to be a transition from whatever animation was playing before this to the actual animation. So there has to be some starting pose that the character's in. I think just arms to the side, something like that. So I think that'll work for now. Maybe it just needs to be extended just a little bit more. No, extending it doesn't help. It's not the timing that's the problem, it's just that the motions don't look right. So I think that would probably require just redoing the frame. So I guess I'm gonna start completely over on the animation. Alright, I have done the unthinkable, the unspeakable. I have recorded a video of myself playing out the first part of the animation, the part that does not involve me falling limply to the ground, and I am going to use it as a reference. But no, you do not get to see it. This is not a full body reveal. Alright, so after a few hours of working on this, this is what I finally have. So what do you think? Does it look good? I think it looks pretty good. It sure took a while. Alright, with that done, it's finally time to integrate it into the Animator controller. So right now it looks like this. Oh hey look, it already put the die animation in there for us. So I think you should be able to enter this from, actually, I was going to say almost any state, but not every state. It wouldn't exactly make sense for you to suddenly die while you're in the middle of the animation for entering a battle. It could happen while you're falling, it could happen while you're landed, it could even happen while you're swimming. So, and I also heard somewhere that the any state transition is expensive. I don't remember where I heard it, but I'm just going to take it at face value and not use it, I guess. So let's go ahead and make some transitions. There we go. So I think I can edit multiple at the same time, right? So no has exit time. The duration, I think the duration should be 0, or at least as close to it as possible. And the condition is that, okay, we need to create a variable for this. So I guess it'll be a Boolean called game over. That should do the trick. And for these, game over should be true. So actually, I think if I go to play focused, I should be able to test this. Okay. What? Well, I noticed a little problem with the animation. It looks like one of the feet. Yeah, that doesn't look quite right. I'll have to fix that in just a second, but why are we all dying at the same time? That's really weird. Okay, they don't all... Okay, so you cannot edit multiple at the same time. At least they won't all have the same properties. That's kind of dumb. Alright, let me fix that real quick. Alright, let's test it. Alright, we're not dying anymore. So I think I should just click this. There we go. And I fall forward. Can I make this not loop, actually? I don't know of a way to make this not loop. Oh, perhaps it's this little thing right here called loop time. Let's see. Alright, let's die. There we go. And we are died. I'm also going to fix the animation real quick. Alright, I think that's fixed it. Let's see. Yeah, that looks much better to me. So I've got the game over animation done. Now we need to be able to trigger the animation. That means it's time to create the game over sequence. Alright, I think the player health script should be responsible for the game over logic. So this should make it to where this function right here is called whenever we die. And it couldn't hurt to test to make sure, so let's just do a debug log whenever we game over to make sure that this function's getting called. Alright, so let's game over. There we go, we got the debug log, so we've confirmed that it's working. I think it's time for a coroutine. So the first thing we need to do is turn the letterboxing on. Let's also make sure to lock the camera. So now I need to trigger an animation, and the only other routine that currently triggers an animation is the encounter routine. So let me go see how that does it. It looks like the script that does it simply has a reference to the character's animator, so I'll just do that. That should do the trick. I'm not sure what else actually needs to be done at the moment. I think this is mostly it, so let's go ahead and test it. Oh great, that again. Default. Is it still gonna give me that error? Well, Unity just crashed, so that's fun. Let's try that again, I guess. Uh-oh, I forgot to assign a variable. Let's try that again. Alright. Alright. So it seems like the only thing it's missing is some music and maybe something that comes up that says game over. I'm not quite in the mindset or inspiration, motivation, configuration to make music at the moment. And I also don't really feel like making game over text. So instead, I'm going to test game overing with the danger item. Alright, so press B to pick it up, we get hurt, walk away, walk back. Press B to get hurt. It does less damage now because I was testing something. This is taking a minute. One more. Ah, there we go. Game over. And we kind of just fell on the item. It also looks a little bit weird that the arms aren't flat. They're actually pointing downwards, so I might want to fix that in the animation too. There we go. That's what I like to see. I think there's just one last thing I want to do. Currently, the death animation looks a little bit weird, mostly because the eyes are just open the whole time, which doesn't look quite right. I think they should be partially closed for most of the animation, and then fully closed at the end. And I don't really want to do that in the game over routine and try and get the timings right. Instead, I want to use the feature of animations where you can actually send messages back to the game, and I believe they're called events. So let's see if maybe I can't figure out how to do those. So let's just look through the animation real quick and see. So Molly grabs her chest right here. I think maybe this could be where, okay, event, no function selected. How do I make a function though? How would I do that? Hold on. I've got some Googling to do. I believe I might need a script on the thing being animated that can receive the events. So let me look into that real quick. I'll just make it belong to the player for now. I guess I'll call it, animation event receiver, perhaps? I guess I'll make a function on it called event receive. What's that? Master server? I don't know what that is. I guess I'll call it event received, and I'll use a Unity event to carry this message to another script. So it should just be as simple as invoking that Unity event when that function's called. So let's see what options we have now. Nope, no function selected. That's weird. Well, I feel dumb. I forgot to actually put the script on the player. That might help. So let's go back here. Okay, event received. So I think, according to Stack Overflow, I can send arguments to this function. So let me look into that. I believe I can send strings. That should be good. That should do the trick. So I guess I could just use one type of event that's common to everything and just pass a string with the information that the receiver needs to know. Alright, so I guess I'll call this something like I partial, because that is the name of that particular blink phase. So we're going through here, and then, okay, the eye would go partial here, right? And then I think the moment of contact with the ground is where the eye should close. So let's add another event right here. We'll call this eye closed. Actually, now that I know about that, what I am doing in another animation, the fight pose, is I'm actually using the routine to change the state of the player's eyes. So maybe I could actually use events here too. Event received, and this is the I don't know what the internal name is. Let me check. I was recording that whole time. Okay. Wait, hold on a second. Alright, it looks like the internal name was I mad. Also, I kind of screwed up the pausing and unpausing on the last clip, so I actually already started working on a script that will receive messages from the animation event receiver that I also just made, and it is going to check the event name against a list of event names that it is intended to handle. So these are the events. Currently there's no animation that actually uses eye open, but there might be one in the future. I stand corrected, there are actually 2 more that I need. I was thinking about it and I realized that the encounter routine doesn't actually change your eye to be the mad eye. It changes the blinking so that the default blink pose, or not blink pose, the default blink state is the mad eye and the rest of the blink is normal. And that is accomplished using this blink selector. I believe it's blink selector.select, and you specify the index of the blinking type. And for mad it's 1, and normal it would be 0. I don't actually have anything, I think, that forces the eye to be a specific sprite, so I'll have to make that. I'm also going to rename these events to make it more clear what they're actually doing. I think that should do the trick. I just need to remember to update the names in the animations. Now all that's left to do is make sure I assign those references. So it needs a reference to the blink, which I think is here, and the blink selector, which I think is also there. And I believe, for one last thing, this script needs to actually have a reference to the animation controller. Animation event received. Alright, I think that should do it. The first thing I'm going to do is test the battle system to make sure the player's eyes actually take on the correct state. Okay, let's see. Alright, the character's eyes are definitely mad, and I'm pretty sure I removed the code that would have done that otherwise. Let me just double check. I sure did. I don't see it in here anywhere. That means we should see the eyes change when we game over. Alright, let's find out. Well, I can't exactly see whether or not the eyes are closed, and also it seemed like it took a little bit too long for the eyes to become partial, so let's address that. It should be as simple as just dragging that event, so where did it happen originally? Where is the player? The player is over here. So it originally happened right here, which is a bit too late, so I think here might be a more appropriate place for it. Let's see. What? No reference exception? No way! Oh. Unity editor stuff. Take damage. Take damage. Alright. I think that was fine, but I'm going to look at it again from a different angle and see what it looks like there. It almost feels like it's still not quite the right timing. Let me look at it again and see if maybe I can't figure out what timing would be best. It just needs to happen a little bit sooner. So perhaps even here. So I think that's the moment that the hand reaches the chest. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Let's test it. Alright. Okay. It's so sad. Maybe it should actually happen later. Gets hit. Stumbles backwards. Maybe it should happen like right here as she's leaning backwards. Or maybe right here. Leaning backwards, eyes partial, leans forward, and falls forward. Alright, let's see how that looks. Okay, I think that looks a little better. I also noticed that she blinked in the middle of that. I think what would really sell it, though, is if her eyes closed, like right here. So, eyes closed due to recoil, and then perhaps reopened but only partially here. Okay, the closing of the eyes doesn't happen quick enough. I think it should probably happen instantly. Okay, now the eyes don't open up quick enough. Maybe at this keyframe. That looks more like it. Let's look at it from a different perspective so that we might be able to see the eyes. Just barely off screen. Well, the eyes are in fact closed, and it looks very sad. Wait a minute. I remember that I made the transition where you could die in water. What happens if you die in water? Alright, so let's swim out here, and let's just die right here, I guess. I'll use the Animator controller to do it. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay. Still falls over, but in the water. I'm wondering if maybe there should be a different animation for dying in water, although I don't know in what situation you would die in water, so I'll just keep it like this for now. Also, I can finally see the eyes. Okay, so I took a break for a little bit and I was about to end off this video, but I realized while doing some testing that there is one last crucial thing that I forgot. Let's see if perhaps you can notice it. Yeah, you still have full control of the player while you are dead. In fact, I think I can still open doors. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm just sliding into the room. Alright, now the letterboxing is gone and I have control of the camera back. So let's leave. Okay. Cool. Let's go swimming. Wait a second. Very cool. Let's go swimming. Yep. Definitely what's supposed to happen. Alright, let's void out. Okay, I don't think there's a single thing that resets this animation, and I've already tried. The enemy does not reset it either. And that's because there are no transitions out of this state. None whatsoever. So, I think I need to lock the player movement as well. Let me do that real quick. Alright, here we go. This one is really simple. Just a one-liner. Globals.playermovement.lock. There we go. Let's test it once more. So far, not able to move. Animation is done, and I still can't move. Alright, that's that. That's finally everything I've wanted to accomplish in this video. So, thanks for watching. I don't know if I will make another video in this series, and if I do, I don't really know when it's going to be, since I don't know what to work on next. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye.